Hey there, my name is John Fitzpatrick, and welcome to my story. I hope this doesn't make it seem like I'm a lunatic or anything, but I had a friend, a best friend actually, who told me before he passed away that I should keep a journal to write down and read my tribulations, since I don't really talk too much. Maybe one day I'll tell you guys about them. This was a few years ago, but I think with my senior year of high school coming up, and the real world right around the corner, I suppose I'll give it a go. I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised, and that house you saw me just walk out of, it's been my humble abode for all 17 years I've lived. I'm actually riding my skateboard right now to another place that I like to call home, but in more of a spiritual sense, I guess. Welcome to my local basketball courts. Of course I'm the only one here. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Basketball's always been tough sledding with me. I'm very undersized. I'm only about 5'9", 5'10" going into my senior year, and I only weigh about $145. Despite a solid junior year at high school ball, the only school to offer me a scholarship is New Jersey Technical Institute, one of the smallest Division I schools in all the nation. This is why I'm getting up at 5 a.m. every morning. I'm done with being overlooked. I guess I'll tell you a little bit about my game as well. I have a pretty consistent mid-range jump shot, and I like to drive the lane a lot as well. I always made working on my finishing a priority because I'm only 5'10", so I gotta do something different every time I drive to the hole. It may sound crazy, but I always liked playing defense and pressuring the ball handler. The biggest hole in my game is my three-point shot. I haven't gotten it consistent yet. Once I come back to the courts, however, I'll show you the part of my game that everybody knows me for. Whenever I need a break from my workout, I'd grab my bag and my skateboard, and you see that apartment building down there to the left at the end of the block? I have a little spot I like to go to where I'm never disturbed and I can just free my mind a little bit, I guess. Actually, my good buddy Deshaun used to live in this apartment, but he moved to another part of New York. He's one of the top small forwards in the nation this year. He's always been a big Bulls fan. He lives in Queens now, and unfortunately he's out of our high school's district, so he won't be going to school with us next year. We found this spot when we were little kids. Just climb up a few floors and we'll be here. 15 stories up, and here's my spot. Always love to see the sunrise over in that direction. But if we look to our left, you can see the skyline of the greatest city in the world. Anytime I had something on my mind or I was dealing with an issue, just grab like a Gatorade or something, skateboard down here, just get lost in my thoughts. I was never the most popular kid growing up, but that was never really a concern to me. I just stuck to myself. More recently, I've thought about what I wanted to do with my life, and I think basketball might just be the way out, but as of now, I'm just a kid with a dream. I was always the first to get to the courts, of course, but once the sun came over the horizon, at about 10 a.m. at this point, the other kids would start to show up. And I can finally get into what I'm known for as a basketball player around the neighborhood. Yeah, I have my solid mid-range jump shot and I have my lockdown defense, but growing up I always watched a lot of Steve Nash and Rajon Rondo, and I think you can guess where I'm going with this. Yeah, my playmaking. Being a New York Knicks fan growing up, you can see I'm rocking the Patrick Ewing jersey, but we didn't really have too many good years, you know. I watched point guards on other teams and was blown away by the wizardry they brought to the table, so I worked hard to emulate it. The kid in the King James jersey right there that I'm lobbing, one of my good friends, Donovan. He's like a brother to me. He's getting looks from Pittsburgh, Penn State, Ohio State, and NC State. This is due to him mostly having family in Cleveland and in Pennsylvania. Next up, we have my friend Farhan, who's another guy I really connect with. He's being recruited by Pittsburgh, UConn, and Arizona. His family's originally from Pakistan, so you know he has no problem traveling a little bit. He's always been a big Kyrie fan, and that shows in the way that he plays his game. We always had some crazy 1v1s growing up together. And especially whenever Deshaun lived here, it seems like whenever we team up, we can never be beat by the other kids. It's crazy though. Despite us four being so close, it seems like we all want different things in our college careers. Deshaun wants to go to the NBA, so he wants to go to a school like Duke, or North Carolina, or Ohio State. Donovan wants to go closer to home back in Pennsylvania, with schools like Pitt or Penn State. Farhan loves to travel and wants to go to a school like Arizona. And me? Well, me. I just want a school to give me a chance. That's all I'm looking for. First game of my senior year. I gotta approach this year with a chip on my shoulder. There's no way around that. I gotta be the hardest working man on the court. This actually isn't my car, it's my father's car, but since he just commutes to Manhattan using the subway every morning, it's never been that big of a deal. But tonight we're playing Mount Vernon High School, a school... Jesus. If any of you ever visit New York, be prepared for that right there. New York drivers. They're something else. See you at the gym. Well, like I was saying before, I was so rudely cut off back in traffic. Mount Vernon High School, also known as the Werewolves. That's who we're facing to begin our season. This shouldn't be anything more than just a tune-up game for us, as Mount Vernon is projected in the bottom part of our division this year. But watch out, you may not expect it, but my matchup tonight might be a little bit of a tough matchup for me. I'm facing up against Micah Mitchum, a 5'8" point guard. Yeah, somebody who's shorter than me. It's pretty surprising. But he's lightning quick and can be a pest on defense. Gonna have to keep an eye on him. Time to see if all that hard work paid off this season. Gotta impress the scouts. First possession on offense for my high school. I'm trying to isolate against Mitchum. I'm trying to back him down, but he's standing strong, so I throw it into Donovan. He throws it over to Anthony, who makes that jump shot. That's how we get our season started. Rebound, Anthony gives it over to me. I'm driving down the left wing. I give it into Donovan. That's my first assist of my senior. I'm sticking with Micah so far pretty well. But here's Hampton, their power forward. Hernandez gets the rebound, but it's tipped out by Anthony, but I actually save it into Ferran. Anthony tipped the ball loose, and I saved it before it went to out of bounds, and I gave it back to Ferran to start the fast break. That's the type of hustle I want to bring this year. And there's my first basket of my senior season. Anthony set a bit of a screen for me there. Got in the way of Mitchum, gave me a step to go to the basket and finish. Here comes Mitchum, who throws it into his teammate, but that's ultimately going to end in a turnover. Nick gives it up to me. I lob it up to Ferran. With one hand, he puts it in. Being a point guard at the next level means that I got to show that I can make a good pass in any situation, and that's what I did right there. Look at me here soaring up for the rebound over Anthony. I'm trying to push the floor a little bit. I go over to the right wing, and I throw it into Nick Woodson. That's our wing. He's a little bit younger than us. I believe he's a sophomore this year, but he's got a lot of potential. There's Micah Mitchum missing a three. Anthony with 7 rebounds already here in the first half. As I isolate against Mitchum, I take a baseline. I had a quick first step on that one, and I got past him, and I finished with another layup. I do have some God-given athleticism, fortunately, as it shows on the layups I've made so far. Now, I tip that pass, they do get it back, but Mitchum, I do come back over and contest his shot, so I'm trying to be a pest on defense today. I'm also running the floor here. I try to drive baseline again on Mitchum, but instead I throw it over to Donovan as the help defense came to try to stop the drive again. At halftime, we're up 18-12 against Mount Vernon. We should be up by more, but I'm having a decent game. Not really the best shooting game I've ever had. 4 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. I should probably have some more steals too, but most of the times I tip the pass, it goes to somebody else, so it's their steal. But it's all good as long as we get the steal. I get the second half underway by throwing a dish into Ferran on the left wing, who makes that three. I get stopped by the defender, so I give it over to Donovan, who cannot make the free throw line jump shot, but their center, Hernandez, was a little too eager to grab that rebound, so Donovan's now in double figures, and I get the assist. My matchup, Mitchum missing the free throw. We're trying to run after the missed free throw opportunity. I drive baseline again. Oh, I tried to throw that one down, but I got fouled by Hernandez. I haven't had an in-game dunk yet, so I'm definitely going to be trying for one in my senior year. I'm actually pretty decent from the free throw line, as you'd expect, because of my mid-range jump shot being pretty decent. I make the first. Second one's up, and that rattles through. This is when we started to pull away now, as Hampton tries to go up, and that looks like it's swatted by Donovan and Anthony, and that leads to an open jump shot for me on the fast break from 15 feet. I now have 8 points. Leads at 11 now, as there's 5:30 left to play. Go over to the left wing, and I see Nick just standing there wide open at the elbow, so I throw it into him. Now I have 7 assists. This is when we really started to pull away, as Ferran throws it over to Nick Woodson, who makes that three-pointer, as it's now a 16-point game. It would be more the same until the final buzzer sounded, as we took care of these guys pretty handily as expected. I finished with 8 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 of 12 from the field, so definitely not my best shooting performance ever, but I'll have to fix that next time we have a game. I didn't record any steals, but I did hold my match up to 3 of 12 shooting from the field, so no complaints there on the defensive side. Only thing left to do now is just to set my alarm for 5 a.m. tomorrow, wake up, and get some more shots up. That's the only thing I can do right now if I want to have college coaches calling my name.